The history of Jewish communities in Slovakia is rich and varied and stretches back at least to the 11th century. An estimated 650 Jewish burial sites in the country are a testament to this heritage. Each cemetery has a community behind it, each with its unique story, but one feature shared by all is a tremendous sense of loss. In a few short years, the Holocaust brought the long history of these communities to a cruel end. Without their owners to preserve them, these Jewish cemeteries have fallen into disrepair, and after 80 years of vandalism and neglect, many are at risk of disappearing entirely, bringing the last physical testament to these ancient communities with them. The ESJF European Jewish Cemeteries Initiative was set up in 2015 by Rabbi Shapira as an international non-profit registered in the Federal Republic of Germany, with the core objective preserving the sanctity of these sites. By focusing on the burial sites in the thousands of towns and villages where Jewish communities were wiped out during the Holocaust, we have been able to identify and intervene at the cemeteries most at risk of disappearance. As of 2022, the ESJF has demarcated and fenced more than 230 Jewish cemeteries around Europe. Much of this work has been funded through annual grants from the Federal Republic of Germany. With the support of the European Union, we have surveyed and mapped some 3,500 Jewish cemeteries across 9 European countries. 343 of the sites surveyed during the period 2019 to 2021 were in Slovakia. This is around half of all the Jewish cemeteries in the country. Notable features of Jewish cemeteries in Slovakia are their small size and high density. This is largely because during the Austro-Hungarian era, between the 19th and early 20th centuries, most of the Jews in these regions were organized in small rural communities and were responsible for their own institutions, including cemeteries. Our surveys in Slovakia revealed that 35% of Jewish cemeteries remain unfenced, and 6.5% have been demolished but not overbuilt. In other words, 42% of Jewish cemeteries in Slovakia require urgent protection. The mission to preserve the Jewish cemeteries of Slovakia remains vast. Slovakia has therefore been designated by the ESJF as a priority country for fencing projects in 2022. Principally, there is a need to demarcate and fence those hundreds of sites at risk. We require the support of local communities in the towns and villages, as well as the development of sustainable and cross-generational models by which local Jewish heritage becomes local historical heritage, owned by all, so that the responsibility for its protection becomes a collective, partnered effort. Consequently, alongside our survey work in Slovakia, we conducted outreach programs to secondary schools in which over 200 students received lectures on Jewish cemeteries and the history of the Jewish community in their area, before being given the opportunity to explore their local Jewish cemetery, applying the knowledge they received in a hands-on environment. Teacher training also took place to help educators incorporate the study of Jewish cemeteries into the classroom. Through this, we provided a wider view of Jewish contributions to local history and heritage and emphasized the values of a multicultural society based on tolerance and opposed to racism, xenophobia, and anti-Semitism. The results of these programs are a key component in building a sustainable future and ensuring the long-term protection of Jewish cemeteries. Over the past years, we have developed a close partnership with USNO, the Federation of Jewish Communities of Slovakia, the legal successor to the defunct Jewish communities and Jewish associations in the Slovak Republic. While it is thought that all Jewish cemeteries have been restituted and transferred to the management of the Jewish community, our surveys have shown that around a quarter of the country's Jewish cemeteries are not included into the restitution registers, and the small Jewish community is unable to provide protection for the rest. Therefore, physical fencing, combined with mobilization of national and local actors and communities, remains the only significant way to protect the cemeteries, especially the remote and abandoned ones. Cemeteries that are not included in the registers of Jewish cemeteries and that are not demarcated are in particular danger. In these cases, surveying the cemeteries is the first step towards their long-term protection. Moving forward, we aspire to complete survey work and strengthen support in areas where we have previously worked. Earlier this year, we completed rabbinical surveys at more than a dozen Jewish cemeteries across Slovakia. As the final step before launching fencing projects, we will begin work at these sites later this year. So far, we have fenced 2 Jewish cemeteries in Slovakia, in Senec and Sokolto, in cooperation with USNO under funding from the German Foreign Office. At the Sokolta Jewish cemetery, there is no longer a Jewish community to protect the cemetery, as most were deported to extermination camps in Poland in 1942. Thanks to the work of the ESJF, we have been able to preserve the sanctity of this site and the last physical testament to the Jewish community of Sokolta. This, however, is only a fraction of the Jewish cemeteries in Slovakia that are in urgent need of fencing and protecting. We will continue with our mission to protect the Jewish cemeteries of Slovakia.